to welcome you to my live call tonight. And it's with the question, how can you help your new recruit with their 30-day story? And what is the 30-day story? What's it about? For those of you that do not know me, I've been involved in network marketing for over 40 years. I share a lot of what I've learned in my journey on these live calls. I started in this business totally broke. I sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. And the last almost 28 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. If that appeals to you, you want to learn more how to do it, hey, if you got to work, there's no place like home. Anyway, I'm going to acknowledge some people that are joining right now. George in New York City, how are you? Good to see you, George. And who else is joining with us tonight? Come, you can say where you're from unless you're hiding from someone. It's pouring and pouring rain here in the Smoky Mountains. It's crazy. You can see the outline, the hazy outline out there, but it's so rainy right now. And Daniel, my friend, nice to see you on the call. Hope you're doing well. And who else have we got joining us this evening? Yeah, I mean, it is pouring rain, cats and dogs. Eden, nice to see you, Eden. And Sophie, you're up late. And then Ashley in the Philippines, nice to see you. Linnea, hello. Michael J. Fox in Texas, what's up? And Daisy in Miami, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see, who else is coming out? And we have, and Rocio, nice to see you, Rocio. Jenny, North Carolina, good to see you. Yes, that's rain. It's pouring like crazy. It's weird. Nympha, nice to see you. Carolina, how are you? In Arkansas, nice to see you. And Rocio in California. Diane, hey, hey, what's going on? Sophie, you're up late. Go back to bed. Or go to bed. It's okay if you want to stay up for a little bit longer. You're up late for London. You're 5 hours ahead. It must be 2 in the morning there. Yeah. Okay, and Carlos Hernandez, good to see you. New Jersey. Oh, the weather's getting hotter there. Okay. Yeah. Well, remember we were together about this time last year. You know, it was right around spring. Yeah, enjoyed being in London. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I miss my traveling days. So, okay, so last week we talked about the first 72 hours or the first 3 days of what should happen when you bring someone in the business. tonight's basically the tie-off, just tying it all together. And just to recap again, the first 72 hours had to do with basically equipping them and getting them ready. They don't even have your product yet when you sponsor someone, right? That makes sense. Unless you're in a country where you carry products with you and you give them the products right away. Some people do that. Most people don't in the Western world. Okay, so going from that perspective, and that's what we're going to do, is that first 72 hours is about making sure they have your company app downloaded. What are the features in the app that are important? What if they were going to prospect someone about your product, about your opportunity, what would the video be? Or if you have one video for the product, another one for the opportunity, what would it be? Or a PDF. Basic things they need to know. Adding them to a Facebook group. Things like that. Getting them on their first training call. Not overwhelming them. Maybe sharing an onboarding video. It's no more than a few minutes long. That has the action steps. What do I have to take, to make money? So that was the first 72 hours. And then when we look at your first week, that is after 72 hours, after those 3 days, by that time they've got their product. The rest of the week, the first of the week, what do we want to accomplish? What we want them to do is to take action. Remember, we talked about that last night. We're not asking them to get results, we're asking them to take action. And our job when they take action is to help them get the result. So we create the result because why? Because we have experience. You know your product better. You've been in the business longer. So you want to be able to help that person. So that might be helping that person, getting their prospect to make a decision to join. Now you help in maybe some of the questions that they have, things like that. The goal that we want to do is that first week is get a result. That's all. Again, as I mentioned last night, their belief level is a 2, their excitement level is a 10. You got to get that belief level moving up the scale to match the excitement. That's the idea here. Okay? And then now, let's talk about the first 30 days. And really, everything you could put in this is really done in a month. The first month is very critical because a lot of people quit when they don't see results, right? So the whole thing about, and my friend Bob Heilig he would call this the 3-7-30 plan, the 3-7-30. We've talked about the 3, we talked about the 7. Of course, years ago we called it different things. I'm cool with that though. 3-7-30. First 3 days, 7 days, 30 days. Everything is basically in a window of time of 30 days, but we broke it down. First 3, first 7. Now what are we doing? What's the goal this month? The goal this month is again, getting them to chase the business, getting them to take action. And what we want to do is we want things to happen, but we want them to have a sense of urgency with it too. Understand this and remember this, because I'm a big believer in it, and my results, my success prove it to be true. It's much easier to go fast than it is slow. Much easier, much more effective, better results. Success loves speed. Slow is torture. Slow is boring. So the whole idea here is when you bring that new person in, you want to move them through that process of the 3-7-30. And so now that, again, you equipped them in the first 3 days, you got them you got their head on straight, where they know what they need to do. They got their prospect list in place. The rest of the week you ran with them. You say, okay, who do you got on your list here? Let's go over these people. You chase a few people, you got some results, but the goal here in the month is, let's just say they made a list of 100 people. We want to burn through that list as fast as we can. Now we want to do it in an effective way, not just run through it, okay? In other words, we're gonna take massive action. Why is that important? Here's how you stage it, or you frame it, if you will, with that person. They need to understand that what they do their first 30 days is what they're going to be telling people they did the rest of their life. Why do we look at me? Look at me. Now, for those of you that have seen my book or read my book, Reaching the Peak, in there I talk about the 90-day plan. I talked about what I did my first 30 days, how I went from 8 to faint, 8 in the morning till I faint, every day, just pounding that phone, calling people, providing, giving them the information to listen to, the audio, the tool that we used at the time. That was what we did. I never left my driveway. I never did one single face-to-face meeting. I did not do a group meeting. I did everything over the phone. And that forever changed my life in 90 days. If I would have went with the go slow approach, the sure and steady, I wouldn't be here talking to you now. And I wouldn't be in the company. I wouldn't be in network marketing. Because slow doesn't work. So how you get that person into speed is by having them understand that they need to create a compelling 30-day story, because that's going to be a future tool every time they talk to a prospect. They're going to talk about what happened their first 30 days. The prospect is interested because they want to know, are you getting any results? Now, if they went slow and steady, they're not going to have any results. There's not going to be much to talk about because they simply did not go through their list, and they did not demonstrate the speed to their leaders that their leaders need to match. The speed of the leader determines the speed of the team. If the leader has no sense of urgency, neither does the team. You just will not grow. You will not have the results if you don't come in it with some speed. And that's the kind of language that you can use with that new prospect when you talk to that prospect. And no doubt you covered this. What are their dreams in life? What do they want to achieve with their life? If they could have anything that they wanted, what would it be? And are they willing to pay a price for that? Well, yeah, I'm willing to pay a price for it. They might tell you, I'm willing to do it. Are you really sure? Yes, I am. You would be willing to go out of your way, make sacrifices, endure hardships, disappointments, just to have what you want. Yeah. Great, because here's what we got to do, John. We need to create your 30-day story. Your 30-day story. We need to create that. And the reason why we need to create that, John, because everyone that you introduce this opportunity to after that 30 days, they're going to want to know, how did it work for you? And what is your story going to be? Imagine this, John. Imagine that someone asks you that and you're telling them the story. Tell me something, John, about that story. What are you saying to that person? Maybe not just some of the success that you had, but also maybe some of the hardships, disappointments. But let's talk about your story. I want you to just use your imagination for a moment and think about what you're telling that person, how it all turned out your first 30 days. See, this is important because they need to understand they need to have a compelling 30-day story, because that will be their tool the rest of their life in your company. Look at me, 21 years later, I still talk about my first 30 days. And then I talk about my second 30 and my third 30. But it was all about setting speed to my team, having focus. You know, just constant, you know, just constantly at it, chasing the business. That's what I did my first 30 days. And so I was going through names. I was burning through my list. So let's just say that the goal was that they wanted to, let's say they wanted to set a goal of hitting your first leadership level in your plan, whatever that is. You can call it anything. You can call it sapphire, or you can call it diamond. Let's say it's 3,000 points or $3,000, okay? Let's just say that. We'll just throw that out. Here's the thing I want you to understand, is that in working with that person, we don't want to push them over the edge. If we see that they're backing off or they're not keeping their commitments, then call them up. Don't get onto them, but just say, hey man, I just noticed, you know, you're not showing up like you said you were going to show up. Are you still really committed to those dreams, those things that you talked to me about? And just wait, just, you know, get in the conversation with them, but it's not a lecture. And then get them back on track. Say, well, let's do it. Let's start making phone calls, okay? You talk to them, bring me in on a conversation. I'll help you, you know, overcome any objections they have or questions that they have. The thing is, you got to run with this person. And that's what happens the first 30 days in the business. Again, you want them to get results. You want to see how far they'll get. But here's the thing. Let's just say the goal was 3,000 points, $3,000. Worst case scenario, they got to 2,000. Let's say 2,000 and the month is over. Don't feel bad and don't make them feel like they failed, because the goal is not the goal. The goal, the whole purpose of the goal is not to reach the goal. It's to achieve things in the effort to do so. To achieve great things in the effort to do so. I could say, John, you know, I know the goal was 3,000, but look what you did. You got to 2. You're not a failure. You brought in some incredible people. We have some great people here. And the way you showed up, man, I mean, you did it. You really did great. You accomplished great things. We need to celebrate this. I don't want to feel bad about this. I want to feel great about this. Guess what? And a new month is starting. We're going to stay on this speed, this direction that we're going, and working with your contacts and the people that you have, John. Here's the thing we need to understand, friends. John sees the fact that it's working. Again, belief level was a 2, excitement was a 10. Now his 2 has moved up to a 6. You're getting him closer to the other side where it's harder to quit than it is to stay. It's going to be too hard to quit because they had some taste. They could taste the success. They experienced the success. They see now that it's working, that their dreams is not just a dream. It can be a reality if they stay the course. And you set them up right, because you let them know that in their 30 days, it's not going to be just a rainbow, a walk in the park, that there was going to be hardships, there were going to be disappointments. So you set them up right. That's so important to do that, because that's all part of the story. If we make it sound so simple, so easy, and that we're going to have such great returns without any sacrifices, just imagine how anybody would look at us and say, man, you're a liar. It's none of that. There's no truth to that whatsoever. Okay. So if we tell the truth, and that's what no doubt everybody on this call right now would do, tell the truth and let them know it won't be easy. It'll be worth it. There will be sacrifices, but there will be great rewards. So we prepare them. We prepare them for the hardships. At the same time, we let them know, hey, there's going to be great rewards. So that first 30 days, again, everything was leading up to everything. The first 3 days had to do with preparation. The next 4 days, that is the 7 days in that period, they got their product. You wanted to make sure they're on the product or their family's on the product. You say, well, most people would use their product, Jeff, wouldn't they? No. There's a lot of people in network marketing that don't use their products. You know, I'm serious. It's true. I mean, I called a guy, this was back in 1994, I think. And he said, my check was $200. And I said, okay, how much product do you have in your house? He said, I don't have any product. I said, that's why your check's $200, because you're not on the product, you don't believe in it, and everyone knows what you're selling is a lie. So it's true. So that first 7 days, we'll make sure they're on the product, that family's on the product, and then we help them get a result. And how they get that result is by they do the activity, we do the support. We create the result. We stay with them to the end of the month, banging it out, banging it out. You know, if you had a few like that that were running like that, it wouldn't take you long for you to organically be pushed up into new ranks in your compensation plan. It wouldn't take long at all. But again, you have to connect with them, and you can't let a week go by and not talk with them in that first 30 days. How often should you connect? Every day. Every day. It doesn't have to be a phone call every day. It can be messaging, but don't let it always be messaging. You cannot discover tonality in a message. Now, if they have some exclamation points, maybe, yeah, okay, there's some demeanor there. But I'm just saying, but there's something in a voice that you can tell. If I get on a call with somebody, I can tell whether they're excited. Yeah, again, they join you, their excitement level's at 10. I can tell if that 10 has went down to a 4. Just in a very quick conversation, just by the tonality of their voice. So you do need to get on the phone with them, talk to them, most important. And then sometimes, like I was messaging with one leader, she's in a different company, but anyway, she had some questions, and so I'll use the voice recorder function in Facebook Messenger. She can hear my voice, I can hear her voice, plus I don't want to, spend all my time, just dictating words. Anyway, the thing is, you need to have some meaningful connections with your new person. You're wanting that person to have a great 30-day story. And here's the second thing about it. Again, the first being that they want to be able to share maybe their product story, their financial story, even if it's a $300 payment from your company, it doesn't matter. That $300 payment could eventually be a $200,000 monthly income. I say that because if you would have looked at my first check, my first 30 days, it wasn't a lot. It wasn't. But if I had to take 21 years and divide all those years into months and divide it and then see what the average would be, ooh, that first month was a killing. It was a killing. When somebody says, what'd you make on your first month? I said, I don't know. I'm still making it. Because of the action I took that first 30 days. That story that I created my first 30 days. because that's a tool that I will use. That's a tool that your leaders need to understand when you sponsor somebody, how important that first 30-day story is. Because again, that's when they sponsor people, they're going to do what? Tell them, you need to have your 30-day story. We need to work really hard to make sure you have a great one. And they're going to say, why? Well, because that's going to be a tool to inspire people to greatness, to believe that they can do this. They can be successful because you're an example of it. I am an example of it. So the thing about it is, if we don't set it up that way, when they first join, it's just going to be slow. It's going to be slow. And nothing's going to come out of that. They might quit. You're not going to grow that way. So just understand that when you bring somebody in, that's the best thing you can do is set them down, do it right. Do it right. So those are my thoughts that I wanted to share tonight with you. The 3-7-30, why that's so important when a person joins. We're talking about onboarding here, onboarding somebody in the business, and how important that is to get that mental posture in their head that they need to run with this like there's a tiger chasing them. I mean, run with this. And if they do that, very quickly, you're going to move them from that belief level that was a 2 in the beginning, and the excitement's a 10. Now you got the belief level at 10. It's a perfect match. So I hope you got some value out of that. And anyway, I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. I will join you again tomorrow night. We'll talk about something different. But yeah, onboarding is so important. And when I think back 21 years ago, when I started, it was, yeah, it was crazy. You got so much more than what I have. Back then, I had a telephone and a list. I didn't own a computer. Okay, that was it. But you got all these tools now. See, it's just, somebody says to me, "Is this hard?" I laugh. I say, "Man, this is not hard. You want to know hard? Let's go back 21 years ago. That wasn't easy. But today we got so much. We need to be appreciative. We really do. Well, thank all of you for joining, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great evening."